Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the DeTalented Podcast. Super excited to be here with you tonight. Before we go any further, go ahead and click that subscribe button, click like on the video, hit the notification bell so you don't miss videos when the DeTalented Podcast drops new episodes. Really like to get that engagement. We respond to every comment. So let us know what you think. As always, I am here with my bestest good buddy, Mr. Jimmy DeTalent. Jimmy, say hi.
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing?
Good. Great.
Hanging in there?
Hanging in here.
Having a good week?
So far.
Dude, are you tired of the snow yet?
No.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, I love it.
You're lying. Yeah, those are lies. Those are lies for sure. Also with us is producer Rick over there at the controls. Producer Rick, how you doing tonight, man?
Doing great.
We are.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here too. I know we don't seem very energetic tonight. What's going on?
I'm energetic. I'm super energetic.
I'm not energetic.
Are you not?
I'm not.
Very energetic.
I'm not.
It looks like it's bursting out.
Yeah, I know. It just looks like he just can't contain himself, doesn't he?
I can barely stand it.
I honestly, I think it's this, here's the thing about where we live, man, is we get some snow sometimes, but usually it's gone in a day.
Yeah.
It snowed, 8 days ago?
It's not leaving.
And it's still the same.
Still here.
Today was the first day that was, yesterday was the first day it was above freezing. Yeah. And then today was above. And
man, it's going to be in the 50s at some point.
Yeah, like Monday, I think, which is what we're used to. That's usually what happens is we get like a big cold snap and then boom, it'll be like 50 degrees. But it's a frozen freaking tundra right now, man.
Yeah.
Well, man, we have been on this kick, man, this series, if you will, talking about monsters or cryptids or cryptoids or beasts or whatever you want to, whatever category you want to put them in. We talked about the green-clawed monster. Last week we found out about the Kelly Hopkinsville incident. We have renamed it the Battle of Hopkinsville. And those are really cool, man. And so I couldn't help it. I was just looking around at stuff and reading more and more stories about stuff in the area, and really it just led to a rabbit hole of stuff all over the country. It's definitely not confined to our area. But the one thing that is I see kind of discussed a lot in our area is giants, man.
Yeah.
And the reason, I guess, is because going back to it, we've been talking, if there's one common theme that's coming up when we're talking about our particular area we live in, it's this little place called Angel Mounds, which is an old, for lack of a better term, it's an Indian burial ground from, I forget what the tribe is called. It's like a Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi type tribe. And, but if you could see them, and I know they're in other places of the country, but I think the thing is, you said earlier when we were talking before the episode, that Angel Mounds is one of the best preserved, even though they're all over the country.
Yep.
It's where there's these huge mounds that they say is where the burial grounds are, but these mounds are certainly not something that, they're big, man. They're huge. They're I don't want to, like I said, they're not pyramids, and they're made of dirt, but they're very large. And Jimmy, I know one thing you mentioned before the episode was you said how old they were. How old did you say they were?
Well, they believe, they believe that the people were there between 1000 and 1500 AD.
Okay.
And
that's pretty old.
Kind of left the area for whatever reason around the 1500 time frame.
And so the question, I guess, has been, supposedly at some point in history, some skeletons were dug up that were between like 7 and 9 feet tall. But here's the deal. There's really no credible evidence. Mm-hmm. And the story is that all of that material, all of those were turned over to the Smithsonian, and that now Smithsonian says they have no history of it. Like they've deleted it. Like they've just kind of made it go away. And so it's kind of like a conspiracy. Yeah. It's kind of like, well, did they exist? If they did, why are they trying to hide it? Now we know there were giants on the earth at some point. We know that. If you read the Bible at all, you know that the Nephilim were giants. And there's even some more. We were just looking at some others a minute ago, the legends of these giant people. And there's one story called the Walkerton Giants in 1925. So that's even more more recent than the ones we're talking about, but some amateurs were digging in a mound near Walkerton, Indiana, reported finding 8 skeletons arranged like spokes of a wheel. They claimed at least one was nearly 9 feet tall and appeared to be wearing copper armor. Dude, I think there were some giants. I do, man, in this area. I know there were giants on the earth. I mean, I believe that because I'm a Bible believer, so I believe there are giants on the earth. But a lot of people, I think a lot of people think that they never made it over here to North America, but apparently they did.
That's what it looks like.
And the natives have story from all the way from the West Coast to here about it.
About big huge
giants,
people, big
red
giants.
People,
Yeah.
Like out towards around Texas area, I'm pretty sure they talked about barricading them into a cave and killing all the last of the giants. Somewhere around Texas or so.
Well, you know, and if you look at the mounds, it's like, why would you build those huge mounds for little normal bodies? I think that's the argument of a lot of people is it took big people to build those mounds, and that's where they would bury big, huge people. I don't even know. I don't know how valid of an argument that is, because you could bury little people in a big hill. But what I don't understand is, and maybe it's because of, I don't know, the conspiracies that people have, or some of them are crazy. I don't understand why they want to hide a lot of the things they hide.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because they claim that the mounds were built in the society where Angel Mounds was. That was a small city of around between 1,000 and 3,000 people. The mounds were built in like the hierarchy, like the chief was up on the highest mound. They were saying these mounds were built for the civilization, not necessarily.
So why they lived?
While they lived, yes.
But the mounds aren't that. I mean, they're big, but I wouldn't think they come to. So if honestly, if you think about that, so that's saying, okay, he would live at the highest spot. What you say, the chief or the whatever, he would live at the highest spot, but that would be the smallest spot, right? Because it's a mound that goes up like the shape of
King of the Hill.
He would live on a little, he would live on like this little bitty area.
Well, you're saying little though. The mounds were large. I mean, the top of that mound was fairly. Was fairly large.
Pretty large, but not huge. I mean, they are big.
Yeah, I mean, you could live up there. Put your house up there.
Apparently.
Yeah.
The chief did.
He did. He absolutely did.
But the mounds also, so you're saying the mounds supposedly have nothing to do with burial?
Well, according to history. Now, is that a cover-up? I don't know.
Okay, here's the question. Why if there were giants, we have so much cool stuff. We have so many awesome, mysterious, wondrous things in the history of our country and the history of our planet. Like, what is the purpose of covering it up? Why hide it? Why would the Smithsonian hide giant bones? Why would they not say, look at this? These are the people that used to live, right? Like, what do you think what's the advantage? What's the play for hiding them?
For keeping that
keeping
information.
that information.
From the general public? I don't know. It's a good question.
Narratives.
Yeah, but
they control the narrative.
What's the purpose of the narrative?
They only want you to know what they want you to know. Why do they keep that? I don't know.
Yeah, why don't they want us to know it?
That's a good question.
Look, that's what they were. Yeah. So Eastern North American platform mounds. Wow. What's that say? Wattle and Dobbs Summit structure.
I think there's something in them for sure. I think they were probably used for burial. Why won't they let us touch them? I mean, we play disc golf right around them.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not allowed to walk on them. You're not allowed to touch them.
No.
And see, I always thought that the reason for that was because they're supposed to be like ancient burial grounds. You were being respectful by not walking on their burial grounds. But now you're saying that they weren't burial grounds. They were living facilities.
Yeah.
I don't think they lived in them though.
No, they lived on them. Yeah.
But how do you live on this? Okay, so
here's they rebuilt this at Angel Mounds. They have walls. Like, they're not building walls on top of those mounds.
I wouldn't think.
There's no way.
And okay.
No, those walls were surrounding the mounds.
So you're saying the chief lived at the top of the mound, or he just lived at the biggest mound?
I think he lived on the biggest mound.
So there wasn't.
Well, I mean,
because the assistant chief's living situation would suck because he'd be like on the side of a hill, right?
Well, I think there are like 11 mounds. I don't think they're like building on the side of the mounds.
Well, okay.
And then I think probably the commoners didn't live on a mound necessarily. I think it was, and it wasn't just for living. There were other things too. There was some astrological significance as well.
Astrological.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the significance of mounds when it comes astrologically?
Man, I don't know.
Well, why do you say there was
Because
astrological
that's what
significance?
ChatGPT said. Come on now.
It's crazy. But so regardless.
See, this, Jimmy, is a recreation right here.
Yeah.
Up here to your right. See this? They actually built this. This is on the ground, not on the mound.
Right. Yeah. They were around. The wall was around the mounds, right?
I've actually, when I was young, hung out in that right there a lot because you can walk into that right there. Yeah.
I remember going on field trips there.
Yep.
But if you look at like the area, I think they were just living. And then here's some more stuff up here. Like,
yeah, look at that. But that looks like a pyramid over there.
I know.
Is that one of the mounds?
No, it looks like a pyramid.
You know what's crazy is where we go to Angel Mounds. Like the mounds aren't actually there. They're like across the street, and they're like spread out.
Yeah, one of them for sure is across the street on Pollock.
And it's kind of like by that, and there's a house right next to it, right?
Yeah.
But then the mound itself is untouchable.
Pretty close. That's my aunt's house.
Is it?
Yeah. She lives on the corner. Like if you were standing in Angel Mounds and looked right across the street, that's her house.
Okay. So, but back to the point is, I guess my question is, so they found these bones. There's several places. So it's not like one instance. So usually, a story is got some kind of truth, some kind of significance to it if it's told in more than one place. And we've got these instances of giants here that they say never existed. We've got the accounts of them in, what was it, Waddington? Is that what it was?
Yep. I want to correct myself too earlier. I said around Texas. It's actually Nevada.
Nevada, okay.
Yep.
So we've got them all. So we've got these reports of giants all over the place. So it's not just localized. Walkerton. So it stands to reason that apparently there probably was these giants, right? And we're talking, this is years and years after the Nephilim, right? Years and years after Goliath, right? Years and years after the Bible giants. I still think that's what they were, but and maybe is that the reason? Do you think that's the reason that they want to suppress the information because they don't want? Because that was still pretty taboo information, right? Because the Nephilim were the fallen angels' offspring with human women. And so maybe it's that. Maybe that's why they don't want us to know about them.
Or they don't want to prove the Bible, right?
Yeah. Or they just don't want, they don't want to say something that would prove the Bible right, to give credence to the Bible. I seen a video not too long ago where somewhere over in Afghanistan or something, someone's saying they seen a giant in a cave. It's probably AI, but still, who's to say that there's not, man? You know what I mean? That still exists, and they just have to hide because they know if they come out,
But like to your point, why would they be scared? I mean, look at history. I mean, look at obviously Shaq or Yao Ming. Like they're very tall people here, over 7 foot tall. I mean, it's getting more and more common to have 7-footers, right, in basketball. What was his name? Robert Waddell. I think he was like 8 foot something, 8'5".
The Guinness guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some.
So why would they hide that?
I don't know. Is it because? But most of those people have like some kind of disorder.
Yeah.
That make them grow. And they're unhealthy and they die real fast. What's the difference? Is there a difference? Were these giants like big, healthy giants, right? Because have you ever seen the hand of Adam? Have you ever seen that? Mm-mm. So there's a thing called the hand of Adam. It's what they think Adam looked like. So they think Adam and Eve were big, huge.
Yeah.
And that early men, like the earliest men that were first of creation were way larger than us. They were healthier because they were made to survive forever, right? They were made to be hearty and healthy and everything. And so look up the hand of Adam. It's got like this, it's like a model that they've got. And it's really crazy because we never think about it. We think about like Adam and Eve just being normal humans. It's this, that's not it. Oh, that's it. There you go. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
So they say that's how big Adam's hand was. that they were that big. Dude.
That's crazy.
Okay, so look, that's what I'm talking about. Yao Ming, Dikembe Mutombo, they were tall, but they weren't like that.
They weren't, that. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, it's not like, okay, they were 9 foot instead of 7 foot.
Maybe that explains, like, Mount Pichachui or whatever, like all the stuff over in Peru.
Yeah.
Those crazy stones that are, like, zigzag, no mortar put together.
So
like those hands look like.
So those human hands could probably pick up a stone like that or move a stone.
Or even the pyramids.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the pyramids. How in the world, they didn't have heavy equipment back then. Like how did they move those huge stones and stack them that way? There had to be.
And get so precise.
Yeah, perfect.
I saw a thing about the pyramids that I think could probably be legit how they were made. It wasn't building up, it was building down. Like they had a full structure of block, and then they removed as they went down. We can talk about that later.
Yeah. That could be. And then obviously the other answer to it is a lot of people say aliens built them. You know, that there was alien technology that was used in that. But I don't think so. I think it was something like you're talking about, or I think there were huge humans that were able to do that.
Yeah.
Back in those days because it doesn't make a whole. I mean, have you ever seen like I know you guys haven't, or maybe you have, but I worked on construction sites, and I worked on a few big buildings, and I know what it took to build scaffolding and bring in equipment and cherry pickers and cranes to lower and how big of a job that was. And dude, that was in, our modern day of machines and things. So, how tall, I don't really know, cause I've never been there. How tall are the pyramids? How high are they?
Yeah. I don't know.
How many stories?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I can tell you like some of the stones that built like the place I'm talking about in Peru. Those stones were 80 tons.
80 tons.
And they carried them across the valley, down a mountain, across a river, and up a mountain.
Yeah.
We can't even, they said to get one of, like the roadways that they built there to get around them, they had to build the roads around those stones because they didn't have the equipment to move them.
So even a giant couldn't move those. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Adam's hand was pretty big.
I know, right?
But 80 tons.
So the Great Pyramid stands at 481 feet tall.
Okay, so that's skyscraper height.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
50 stories.
How in the world were they doing that without big people?
Right.
You know what I mean? You almost have to be. You imagine that like us. Hey, producer Rick, you get on the left. Jimmy, you get on the right. We'll take this up to scaffolding. No, there's no way, man. Right. There's no way.
There's no evidence that they built it either. So that top down that I was telling you about, so when they removed the rock as they were going down, they built the other ones. They would make a flat cube out of the rocks and then work their way down, going around it. And they actually proved that that's the only way that they can make the corners precise. Yeah. Like how there's 4 corners on the pyramid, and actually it slants in. There's 8 angles on it. But the only way to make it perfect, so going from the ground up, it would be nearly impossible to keep it geometrically perfect. But if you did it from the top down, it's easy.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Yeah. I mean, I can see that.
I know it kind of ruined it for me. I was like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah, but but even doing it that way, I still think they need.
It was insane.
Massive. It would still take. Today, if you were going to do that, and you said, "You know what, we're going to save some money. We're not going to use any equipment." Failure. No way we could do it. No. You know what I mean? There's no way we could do that.
To build it from the ground up, I can't remember how big each rock is, but we're talking multi-tons. Well, there's like 2 million stones there, and they would have had to lay a stone every second for 20 years to do it in the time frame that they said.
Every second for 20 years.
That's crazy.
That's not happening.
No. So they did it. So how long did it take them to build?
I think they said 15 to 20 years.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's how long it takes them to put a lane on the Lloyd Expressway or I-69.
That's a rough subject for me right now.
So this says that
driving to Mount Vernon.
Yeah. Good luck with that, buddy. Some individual stones are estimated to weigh between 30,000 and 160,000 pounds.
Pounds or tons?
Pounds. So then what is 30,000? What that's
Well, there's 2,000 pounds on a
2,000,
ton.
so you're looking at 15 tons on the low side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
80 tons.
80 tons
on the high side.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
So, yeah.
80 tons. 80 tons.
Yeah.
80 tons.
80 tons.
Man, that's like some of those people on my 600-pound life.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
She's a goner. We can't move her.
Those are the giants we've got now. So without super large people, I don't see how they could have done. See, man, our history is so crazy. I honestly don't understand how people believe in the existence of man independently of anything else. Like that man did all that. Man didn't do all that. Man, not humans. We didn't do that. There's no way. That's a human impossibility without equipment to build those pyramids. It's human impossibility to do whatever, some of the things that we did. You know something really crazy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this. Did you know there were 8 people on the Noah's Ark? Right?
Yeah.
8 people. You know how many blood types are in the world?
8.
8. Yeah.
You know that. So there's just all this stuff, and I don't understand how people don't believe in. I'm not on a soapbox about religion or anything. I just don't understand how logically, like, it takes more faith to believe that man's just on their own than it does to believe in there being a creator.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes way more faith.
For sure.
And that's why I don't. And that's why I do believe. That's why I believe in some of the stuff that we talk about. I've heard people say stuff like, "Well, you shouldn't believe in the alien, and you shouldn't believe in this, and you shouldn't believe in the green clawed monster." I had somebody saying, "Oh, well, and I do agree where it could be demons."
Yeah, that's my theory on it. I don't believe in aliens.
Yeah,
I believe it's angels and demons.
But I do have this thought where
that doesn't mean I don't believe in life elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call them aliens, just other creations of God's. Right. Like, I almost think it's, like, I believe he loves us. I believe we're unique, but I almost think it's kind of arrogant to think that he just stopped at us or that he hadn't done things before us. I do think we're the only ones made in his image. I think that was that's what set us apart. But hey, maybe he did make a breed, like, hey, I'm going to make some little silver people. And I'm going to send them down to Hopkinsville one day. The hair pulling aliens. But, I know. So, but just to see, there's some things in the Bible that even point kind of to it where, like we know that Satan was cast out of heaven before Adam and Eve. Mm-hmm. But, when it talks about Satan being cast out, it said when he was cast out, it said kings and kingdoms fell. Yeah. So there are some things that takes, some splaining to do.
For sure.
And I think it's okay not to understand all of it, but I also think it's okay to question, like, what else is out there, because there could be things. And I don't think that, and if there is, I don't think it stands in opposition to the gospel or whatever we believe, when it comes to what we believe.
Yeah, no, I
God.
agree. I agree.
I don't think it stands in opposition of it, In fact, it kind of strengthens it. Man, we believe in a creator. Creators usually don't just create one thing. Most inventors don't just invent one thing, right? They don't. Scientists don't do one project and that's all they do.
God created the heavens and the earth, and it didn't say exactly every little thing that he created.
No.
Right?
Yeah. He just said everything, the heavens, the earth, and everything in it.
Yeah. Which is unlimited.
Yeah.
You can't index everything.
I mean, you could literally think of it like this, man. Like, we're one drawing. God's an artist. We're one drawing. And who's to say there's not other drawings? I watch, if you watch a kid draw, kids love art, kids love drawing and stuff. You watch them, they'll do a piece of paper and they'll be like, look at this, it's awesome. They'll color it, they'll get it done. Then they'll set that to the side, they'll grab another one and they'll start all over and they'll do something totally different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm not comparing God to a little kid, but to creativity. Yeah. The God that we believe in is a creative God,
right?
And so when we talk about like this stuff, I don't think it stands, like I said, I don't think it stands in opposition of it. I think it, and again, at the same time, I'm not saying any of it does exist. I'm saying we don't know, and I don't think it's wrong to question it and to want to dig in and see what there is. You know what I mean?
I think it's arrogant that you can say, "Oh, absolutely not."
Yeah.
You know, how arrogant is that? You know,
That's what I said. I think it's arrogant to think that. I think it's a little arrogant to think that we're that God said, "Oh, I'm done.
yeah,
I'm done with them. I like this. This is it. This is all I want."
Yeah.
And maybe he did. Maybe we're the last thing he created.
Yeah.
Like maybe he did stop because he did. Like I said, I do think we're special because I think he made us.
I think you're special.
I think he was very specific when he said that he created us
Yeah.
in his own image, in our image, right? The Trinity's image. But, didn't say that he didn't create anything else. And so there are, and even like we say that stuff. And so we think like I also don't think that things he created have to be like, they're not necessarily all separated by magic or by, whatever. Like I said, so if there's a green merman in the river, like I'm not saying there is, but if there is, like I just want to know what is it? What I mean? The biggest cryptid that there is Bigfoot. And I've never seen Bigfoot myself. I'm not saying Bigfoot exists, but I will say there are a lot of people who are 1,000,000% convinced that they have seen Bigfoot, right? And we don't have no problem believing. We see gorillas and apes, and that's no big deal. And if Bigfoot, the way they describe Bigfoot is like a really smart gorilla type creature.
Yeah.
I do have questions on. My biggest question on Bigfoot is this: is why haven't we found bodies? Why haven't we found remains of them?
Because they live so deep in the earth, I think.
Yeah, but people see them, you know what I mean, and we find everything. Dude, there be murders, and we'll find bodies 30 years after the murder. So you know what I mean? How have we not found a Bigfoot, a 9-foot Bigfoot? Creature. Oh.
Have you seen like the tunnels and stuff in Spain and all that, like where they've just accidentally, somebody was messing with their house in Spain, which is really old, and then they find these elaborate tunnels that are like miles long.
I think I've heard of some of that
people
stuff.
lived in. Like, who knows why they lived in it? Probably some type of apocalypse or something.
Yeah,
on Earth.
Yeah.
This stone up here, like giants. There's no mortar in that right there.
Yeah.
And why are they, like, look at how they're cut crazily. Giants did it. And now that you said this thing about the hand of Adam, I've got to go research that. That's going to kill me.
I know, right? It's crazy. I mean, but if you think about it, man, like, we were so humans, if we believe in the creation story, we were created to live forever, right? Immortal. Like we weren't never supposed to die. We're never supposed to be sick. We're never supposed to be ill. And so it's like as our health deteriorated over time because of the fall, then we also, we became, the need for us to be that big reduced. And so I will say this. I don't believe in evolution the way that science teaches it. We didn't come from no monkeys, but I do believe that we evolve.
So, more like adaptation.
We adapt, right? And I think that would be part of the plan of God, right? I mean, we adapt to ours. So it's obvious. That's why people are like, that's the reason we have people in different races and colors, because they live in different environments and their bodies are suited for the environment that they live in. The same way you look at you ever seen like the fish that live super deep, you know what I mean? Where there's no light, they don't even have eyes, right? Because they don't need them. They don't see. They're fit to their environment. And I'm not saying that they weren't created that way in the first place. They may have been, but I know that even, maybe not physically, but how often do you find yourself adapting to situations in your life as things change, right? You adapt, we adapt. And so I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened with humans. If we were large like that with Adam and Eve and the early humans were very, very large, I think the need for that went away as, and not only, maybe not the need, maybe the ability to get that big, because we died in so many years. And you even look how death, like even then, death came on the scene. But you read the Bible, like Methuselah was like 900 years old.
Yeah.
They lived way longer. We live 70 to 80 to 90 years now. So if you get 100 years old, you've made it. You know what I mean? Like if you see a news article about a 100-year-old dying, like I will literally catch myself saying, "Oh, they lived a good long life." You know what I mean? But
well, do you think? I'm asking because I don't know. What was the calendar like back then? I mean, they weren't living on the Gregorian calendar.
That's a good question.
What was a year considered?
Probably 7 days. No, I don't know. I don't know.
I think truly we are not the first of our civilization. I think we've gone through multiple civilizations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people say, you count the years of the people in the Bible. Yeah, I believe in the Bible 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that the chronological order fits our time right now. Right?
Well, it doesn't even,
so
time is a necessity for us. But if you're going in, if you're getting into the spiritual aspect of it, God doesn't live inside time. Time doesn't mean anything to God. Yeah. That's why he said time, a day is like 1,000 years, 1,000 years is like a day. Right. God doesn't live within time. And so those stories, like, and even the Bible, like the oldest book in the Bible is Job, right? And you read Job's story, like, there are some people that think that lasted hundreds of years, Job's thing, and there are other people think it lasted a week. But we don't know.
Yeah.
Because that was way before man started recording time in the way that we record it now.
I think the things that we're talking about have lasted civilizations, outlasted other civilizations.
Yeah.
And there were definitely tools used. I mean, there's proof of it, like saw cuts and stuff. People are going to argue it, right? Because they're basing their whole lives on a narrative that we've been taught in a school system that has owned the narrative forever until now. I just think it's wrong. And, like we were talking earlier about stolen land, right? Who did the Indians steal the land from?
Yeah.
Because
somebody.
We just proved that 20,000 years ago, there were people in Nevada, like footprints. They just found it. Well, those people walked across land masses that are now underwater. And then was it their land? And who did they steal it from?
Well, and if you think about it, like where we're at right now, they find fossils all the time where they proof that this used to be all ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
basically like Nevada and all that,
like
right?
the Green Claw Beast. Maybe it was his land at one point. You know what I mean?
Could be.
Or that civilization or whatever it was. I totally agree, man. Time is different. Time is not recorded the same. It's a good question, and I don't think it's one of those ones where I don't think we'll have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Why we're here?
To heaven.
Yeah. Why we're here? I don't think we'll figure out how to answer that question. And it's and I think it's the same. But if you look at even the people are like, well, but the dinosaurs, those aren't in the Bible. They do mention some creatures in the Bible that are like dinosaurs. They mention the Leviathan and stuff like that. But if you look at the way God plans and how good and how smart that He is, think about it. Without the dinosaurs, we would not be able to exist. Everything we have is petroleum, fossil fuel, petroleum based. It's like God used the dinosaurs to set up the way that civilization runs now, right? Yeah. Everything that we do is because of those dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure if you look at Gobekli Tepe, do you know what that is?
I don't. I can't even say that.
It took me a long time to get it. Gobekli Tepe. It's one of the oldest places we've dug up so far. And I can't tell you where it's at. Turkey. Turkey's where it's at.
That makes sense.
And they've definitely carbon dated it to 14,000. Like, that was the first place that wiped away the narrative of the pyramids and stuff. This is way older than the pyramids. Gobekli Tepe. And there's carvings on these big T-shaped pillars. There's dinosaur carvings on there. So man walked with dinosaurs. How would a man
know about
who was supposed to be a hunter-gatherer at that time, who wasn't supposed to be able to erect this stuff, carve a dinosaur into a thing?
Yeah.
Yep. That's another big thing that they do is they're like, like people, like a lot of religious people are stuck. There's narratives on our side too.
Oh, for sure.
Like the 4,000, like the Earth's 4,000 years old narrative. Like, man, you don't have to believe that. Like that's, again, go back to where, they're like, well, the Earth was built in 7 days, because they're really stuck on that Genesis story. And I believe it too. But I also believe God when He said, no, don't forget, 1,000 years is like a day to me, and a day is like 1,000 years. So instead of so just going off what God told us in His own words, the creation of the earth could have been 7,000 years
Right.
instead of, and that's just if we go literally. It could have been billions of years. While he prepped it and got things ready and made sure that things were going to be, the way he wanted to do it, the way he wanted to set things up. So there's that narrative. So that's why I laugh when when like Christian scholars and stuff try to argue against carbon dating. I don't believe in evolution, and I don't think they have any proof that we were ever another species. I don't think that. I'm totally against that. And I think that we've proven that you can go back and they've tried to reverse engineer human life, and you can't do it. At some point, like they can't get to a single cell. The best thing I've seen about that is Lee Strobel, is a guy that used to be an atheist, and he was the one. He went and tried to scientifically prove to his wife, who used to be agnostic and then turned Christian, and instead he proved it's called a case for creation.
Christ.
Well,
there's a case for Christ,
yes,
right?
and a case for creation.
Okay.
A case for creation is where he went and he shows. And these brilliant scientists are like, look, man, I used to be that way, but it's impossible. You can't, human life can't be reverse engineered. And there would be people that try to argue, yeah, they can because they didn't do this and they didn't do that. Nope, you can't get us to an amoeba. You can't get us to a single cell organism. You can't do it. Because once you take away, like there's something about it, and this is non-scientific dummy talking over here, but there's something like when you get to a certain point and you take the tail away, it's lifeless. It can't move anymore. It can't do anything. It's just literally a blob of nothing. You can't. You can't, like I said, if you can't reverse engineer something, it's like if you take something apart, you can put it back together. Like they can't do that with human life, with creation.
We start off as xenomorphs.
Yeah, that's what they say. We start off as these little single. I don't understand why they even want to fight. Why they want to fight so hard to say that we were that we came from a blob.
Do you know what a xenomorph is?
I have no idea.
It's the alien creature from Alien.
Oh, yeah,
it's a
that's
tail.
right. Yeah.
We start off as xenomorphs. We have a little tail.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
Not to
But I like
derail
that,
everything,
yeah.
but have you guys watched Alien Earth?
No, was it good?
Super good.
Was it new?
Yeah.
So it's a new Alien movie? I didn't
Alien TV series.
know. Oh, I didn't know that.
It's on Plex.
Okay.
I'll have to check that out.
I want to see the new Predator movie, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm bummed I missed it in theaters.
Me too, dude. I was upset. I thought, like, literally, we finally got to where I was like, hey, Laura, let's go to the movies. Let's go see Predator. I was like, let me go see what time it's playing. And it was like, it had been there. And then that day it was gone. I was like, no. So I'm waiting now. It's not on anything yet.
Yep.
Is that still a prequel, or is that what year is that set in?
No, the one that's coming out now. I think it's after the Prey.
It's right after the
I don't know if
Prey?
it's right after.
I
I'm
really
not
liked
sure.
Prey.
Prey was good.
It's separate from that. It's like they take everybody to a planet, like including predators. Everybody goes to this planet, and they are the prey, basically. They got to hunt.
There's like a tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're hunting these big dinosaurs, basically. So
Okay.
dinosaur monsters. Like we think T-Rex was bad. Like T-Rex is like a little puppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what was a cool movie, man, and it's totally off of like I don't know how close. I don't think it's close to the original, but Peter Jackson's King Kong. Like maybe not the story part of it, but like the scenes that they did when Kong was fighting like the T-Rex and the stuff out there. And have you guys seen that? Peter Jack?
Is that the one with Jack Black?
With Jack Black.
No, I've not seen it.
Yeah, man. No. Is it? Yeah.
I think Peter Jackson's is the...
Yeah, it's the Jack Black
Black.
one.
Is
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Okay.
It's
No,
the Jack
I
Black one.
did not see that.
Yeah. Now the Skull Island's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, the storyline on that one's good.
Yeah.
That's the one with the dude from Step Brothers. What's his name?
John C. Reilly?
Yeah. He's in it. He's hilarious. And Samuel L. Jackson's in it. It's good. But the Peter Jackson one, yes, with Jack Black. There's scenes in there that are just like, wow, man, can you imagine if it's literally the way they present it? It's like this island's like going back in time, and it kind of fits with what we're talking about. Is if you think about like how brutal and how primal things used to be, you know, back before, even before, maybe before Adam and Eve, or even in those early days of man, you know, when they were here, I think there was craziness going on during the early, ages when men were on. Because like you said, men seen, I think, I do think Adam and Eve were the first humans. I do think that, that I believe in the Bible that to that degree. But what I don't think is that like if we think of it if we think of the Bible like in linear fashion like that, I don't necessarily think Adam and Eve were only 4,000 years ago. That's what I'm saying. It's like the drawings and all that stuff, like not because you think about it, because a lot of people are like, well, that was caveman or whatever, but that they were smart, they were smart enough to draw and do things, whatever. I do believe that could have been people from that age or from that particular time. I don't like. So I think time is one of humans' biggest hangups.
Yeah, I agree. So where do you think Abel found a wife? If
I think they married their sisters back then.
You think that's what it was?
I do.
I don't know any other way it would have to be.
Well, that's my question. Are we missing some time there?
No, I think that I think Adam and Eve, I think that it wasn't weird then because that was their first job, was to populate the planet, to populate the earth.
But the problem is it doesn't say that it was his sister.
It doesn't. Because God probably knew we'd make that weird.
Yeah.
When he just, so you think about it, man, it's what it had to be. And then it was like, it got to a certain point and he's like, okay, there's enough separation now to where you need to be going outside your normal, again, it's like a plan that unfolded. Yeah. And if you think about it, what would you do? I don't know. That's a weird question. I'm not going to ask,
I've seen it. I've watch certain things on it because it's I wonder too, how is it
right?
I've seen where they said that where people theorized that Adam and Eve were first, but they weren't the only humans on Earth. They lived in the garden and there was others outside the garden.
But if they were,
I've heard that too.
If they were the first two,
yeah,
the other people outside the garden had to come from them.
That God,
right?
No. I think he's saying that God created other humans too.
Yeah.
But Adam and Eve were the
I
first.
see. So you're saying they were the first. It didn't mean he didn't create
but
others.
I thought that in there, but I thought there was I thought the Bible pretty clearly said that Adam was the father of the firstborn among men, the father of all. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that.
Well, I've also, so I'm just giving you what people's theories
are.
No,
I've heard that too. Yeah.
But I've also heard that. So it was okay to interbreed, and that everybody lived very long lives back then. And then after you get to a certain generation, because of all that interbreeding, that's what started shortening our lives.
Very, 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 very possible.
I could see that.
And here's another question when it comes to that, because when Cain got expelled, like he got sent out, and the Bible says God put a mark on him, and that so that other people would know not to kill him, that he was miserable, that he would be a foreigner in every land. But who were those people? They had to be
right. Already populated.
They had to be his relation. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when we think about Cain, so we think about that story and we think, well, Cain and Abel were young men now, 19, 20 or whatever, but it could have been 200 years old or whatever by the time that happened, to where because either there was already population that had spread to where there wasn't I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. There's definitely questions that we don't have the answers to.
I live by faith, brother.
That's right. Yeah, that's right, man. I do too. And I'm totally fine believing in that. And I don't, you know what I mean? Like I said, I think it takes more faith to believe the other stuff than it does to believe.
But that's what's crazy too. I mean, not to harp on it, but it's like Cain, his wife was never mentioned, but yet his son Enoch was.
Yep.
Didn't mention the wife at all, where she came from, who she was.
Yeah, and Enoch was that's a big character. The book of Enoch, and there's
that's huge.
Yeah, man.
That's he's one of the ones that never died.
Yeah. So
yeah,
and and for some reason, like Bible scholars and Christian theologists, they don't want people to read the book of Enoch. Yeah. They say it's not.
It's heavy. There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff in there, man. Enoch was like, I'm gonna drop all this knowledge, and here's the thing: I don't even know if he. A lot of books of the Bible that are named after people weren't really actually written by them. That's, so that's the thing, and I don't know enough about it. I feel a little bad. I probably should know more about that. Chad knows a lot about that stuff because he's all into that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Chad's probably
it goes in deep about the Nephilim. It goes in deep about the Watchers.
Yes.
I mean, there is a book called The Giants.
Yeah,
Yeah, there is.
It's still in the Ethiopian. Like the Ethiopian Bible has all of the books, right? Nothing was taken out by
the Chronicle,
Catholicism.
the Council of Nicaea.
Nicaea. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know, they actually say here you go. This is real controversial. I've heard this. I don't know if you guys have. I've heard the King James Bible is the least accurate, worst translation of the Bible that there is.
That is controversial.
It is, because there are still some people like, it ain't King James. It ain't about the, they'll get crazy, man. I don't use the King James because I don't like the way it reads. I'm an NLT guy myself.
Yeah. It's not the most accurate. The most accurate is, from Hebrew to English. The most accurate is the NASB.
The NASB. I've heard that there's a couple that are way closer, and it's not the ones that people usually accept. It's not NIV. It's not King James. It's like one of them is like it's either ESV or ASV.
It's NASB.
Yeah, I know. I think there's but I think there's a couple that they say are good translations.
Oh yeah, they're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The NASB is the closest, and then
what's that stand for? The North American.
I don't know. There's two versions too. There's a 20
years,
and then there's a 1999 one. Anyways, that's the closest, and then to get closer to that, then you have to start reading Hebrew, like Jewish texts.
Right. Yeah, that's the most accurate is the actual text. The actual text. That's the only way you're ever going to get the truth. And because they say it's super hard to translate Arabic into English. Because I think the New Testament is probably easier because the Greek to English isn't as hard, but Arabic into English I think is pretty tough to do, because they use so many different words for so many different things, right? Like that's one of the things that throws everybody off about like alcohol is the words like what is it? Onios, and then there's Greek words for it, and some of them say, well, wine wasn't wine, it was just juice, and it was just that, and it was just this or whatever. But it's all because of bad translation, or not bad translation, misunderstood translation, right? One of the biggest ones that people, this is one of the ones that I believe is so. When they were talking about in the very beginning creation, what I was just talking about a while ago, where God said it said we created men in our image. That comes from the word Elohim, and Elohim in Hebrew is plural, right? So it goes against the oneness people who are like, there's only one. There's not, the Trinity doesn't. Well, the Trinity does exist, or why would he say created man in our image? He's talking Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and even the word going back all the way to, that's one word that I know is in there that is Hebrew is Elohim, which is, and I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Elohim? Is that right?
Yeah, and it's a plural noun.
It's a plural noun
for gods or deities.
Yes.
In Hebrew.
Yeah.
I have it. I read the NASB, and whenever you're reading the red letters, right, it's got the proper version for us to read, but it also will put parentheses S on it to show you that it's plural. Like, so Jesus says we instead of I say, like we, meaning the Trinity.
Trinity, yeah. So I knew. Look, I was almost right. That's one of it's North American New American. I knew it was one of the American, one of those. And when I say accurate, I'm not talking about. I'm literally just talking about language translation is what I'm referring to.
Man, do you ever listen to Wes Huff, or you've seen?
I love Wes Huff.
Man, he is amazing,
dude. That cat.
He was on Joe Rogan. Did you see him on Joe Rogan? That was pretty awesome.
I've seen him on other stuff too, though.
I just want to pull this up.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people.
The New American
that know us and know how we are with Christianity. I just want to pull this up because this is pretty controversial. I just want to prove it, that we're not just pulling, because the King James people. Whew.
I know. Oh, they're rough. Yeah. No, I still know of pastors who will say that they literally say that if it's not King James, it's not real. It's not the Bible.
Yeah.
And I think the one they really hate is the NIV.
The NIV.
Because the NIV pulls some stuff it didn't deem as necessary. He cut some verses
It
out.
does. It even tells you at the bottom, like,
Yeah, this has been omitted.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like that either. But you know what the best Bible is?
What's that?
The one you read.
Yeah, that's right.
I
That's
like
right,
that.
man.
I like that.
Yeah, for sure. Which one do you read, Jimmy?
What is it again? What's it called?
The NLT?
The Bible?
The Bible. I read the Bible. Well, I kind of wondered if talking about giants would kind of lead into talking about that stuff, because really, it all is, man. Here's the thing, and this is where I don't mean to get religious or anything like that, but like whatever is out there, like there's nothing outside of being created by God. Everything that there is was created by God.
Yeah.
I mean, period.
Facts.
So, the green clawed beast, the
green clawed beast,
the little silver men, whatever they are.
Yeah.
If they exist because of God.
Yeah.
If they don't exist, they still exist because of God, because humans who took the drugs that seen them.
I said earlier, I think it's all angels and demons, but there could be another race on this planet that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
That live in the ocean, because we only know about 5% of the ocean.
Yeah, I thought it was 3, but
Yeah, I was guessing.
It's a small amount.
it's very, very little. I mean, we don't even have the ability. I guess we have hit the deepest part, but very brief. How long was they down there at the
Mariana Trench?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
It's like dropping a lure in a pond.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
You're right.
You just put it down there, you brought it right back up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And have you seen the movie The Meg?
No.
You haven't seen The Meg?
No, I have not.
Bro, it's Jason Statham, man.
No, I
You need to
not
watch
seen
The
it.
Meg.
Yeah.
But it's cool because they go through these thermoclines in the ocean, and then it's like a whole different world. And there's totally different creatures that can't get through the thermocline. Like until, of course, the submarine poked a hole in it, and then all of a sudden the Meg came up. But it was, I guess what the story in that. Now this isn't true, and I'm not saying it is, so don't nobody think he's crazy. But it's pretty interesting the way they described it, because
we think you're crazy.
Yeah, I know. When the Ice Age happened,
Yeah.
these thermoclines got created in the ocean. And they're saying the reason there was this mass extinction in the water was because really there's just these thermoclines that we can't get down in, and they can't get up. And so in these depths that nobody has access to, that there's these creatures that used to exist that we think don't exist no more, but they do. And I guess every once in a while, something happens.
And then the next thing you know, you have Sharknado.
Hey,
and that's what happens.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I think that was the dumbest movie they ever made.
You think so?
Dude, I can't believe it went so cult classic, man.
It did.
Like people were like loving that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and there was like 10 of them. How many Sharknadoes are there? 4 or 5?
I don't know. I've not seen one.
I haven't either.
Me either.
I know Ian Ziering was starring in it.
Yeah.
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 It's like, man, 90210 to Sharknado.
The Sharknado.
At least it rhymes. I went from 90210 to Sharknado.
That's a catchy little tune.
Write a little ditty about that?
That's right. Yeah, man.
Little ditty.
Look, if they find those
About sharks flying.
they find like
Within a tornado.
people living underground for like a long time ago. Like they've proved that cattle were even in these tunnels I was telling you
Yeah.
about. Like, who's to say people aren't still doing that?
Yeah. Nobody. You can't say that.
No. Well, I mean, not the same thing at all, but you've heard of the mole people in Las Vegas,
Yes,
right?
man.
There's a tunnel system there because there's nowhere for the water to go when they get these torrential downpours. So they created this tunnel system. I think there's 200 to 300 miles of tunnels underneath Las Vegas. And there are people that have lived there for years.
I keep getting that.
But they're just homeless folks, though, right?
They're home. Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, they're just homeless.
I keep getting that on my like to watch or like recommend it for you.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There are people who have been down there. They'll go down there and they'll interview them. And I mean, there are people who've been down there for 10, 15 years.
Are they like crazy? Like
some of them are, fairly
astute?
Yeah, a few of them. And then they'll talk to you about the people, like the shadowy creatures they see down there.
So see,
Now I'm
Yeah.
hooked.
yeah. You know what's just as weird, man? It's the Appalachian people.
Yeah.
Man, the people that live in the mountains that never come down, man, and that, like, if you look at them, like, they all, like, there's that one family, I forget who it is.
The
but
Whitakers.
The Whitakers, yeah. Dude, that, whew. And didn't a bunch of stuff pop off with them? Like, the guy was, like, all helping them and stuff, and found out, like, wasn't there, like, a bunch of abuse in there? And,
Yeah.
like, there's, like, a bunch of controversy that happened, and now the guy who, like, loved them and was, like, all, I think he is, like, enemies with them now, or?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with it lately.
I haven't kept with it ever, but I've just seen a little bit of it.
I watched a few of it's Soft White, the guy who created Soft White Underbelly. He's the guy who kind of went in there and befriended him. He did a lot for him. I mean, he raised money and, like, got them, a new roof, remodeled their house, made sure they had money. And
But have you
food.
seen them?
Yes.
I mean, they look like sloth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
From the
a
Goonies.
couple of them. Yeah.
They do. But not only that, but like the Appalachian, like some of the Appalachian people, have you heard where like people will go and like these crazy Appalachian people will come running out, and I think they're people, but they're like animals, man. They're like, oh, look at them, dude. Dude, look at them. That's what incest does.
Yeah. Well, they're very inbred.
Bro.
Nice. Now I gotta go look this up. I'm used to the wonderful whites of West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my favorite Appalachian family.
Well, look at those folks, dude. They are literally, I like, as soon as I look at that picture, I hear, "Hey, you guys."
I mean, we've all seen Deliverance. I mean, that's
Yeah, I know. But was that in the Appalachians? Deliverance?
Yeah.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watched a YouTube video the other day where like this forest ranger went, and it was like real action stuff, and like he was running out of there for his life. Like people started coming out of the trees and stuff. So
Yeah, I don't think I'd be messing around up in the mountaintops.
no, man.
Yeah.
So me and my buddy went 4-wheeler riding one time with a bunch of people, and it was somewhere deep in Kentucky, like Eastern Kentucky, Appalachian Kentucky, right? Mm-hmm. Eastern Kentucky, there were some people there, and we were talking to them. We were being real friendly with them, and they were on 4-wheelers. They didn't look crazy, but like all of a sudden they started talking real crazy. Like, yeah, y'all come up here. Good chance nobody ever see you again. Like just talking nuts.
Yeah.
Like we were like, man, we need to go, man. These people are nuts. Like they're gonna shoot us or something.
Years ago we were
kids.
We were the band I was in. We had a couple shows out in the Maryland area, and we were coming back home. And we were coming through West Virginia and got lost. And instead of, this was pre-Google Maps. This was like MapQuest printed out directions, right? We were like in the mountains of West Virginia. I mean, we got so high up there. And then like at one point, like the houses, like they didn't have driveways. They just had huge ditches, and they had like a coal mining car to get across, like on a cable to get across the ditch. And then this one little town that we stopped in, we went into a gas station / video rental store / baby pen with a little baby. And I mean, it was very...
You're talking about my hometown.
Very hometown. Well,
bro, it was no, but
and we were band guys who looked like a bunch of like, who are these guys?
Yeah,
You know what I
of
mean?
City like
And then-
yuppies.
You got a pretty mouth, boy.
Exactly. And then some guys were driving by in a jacked up truck, and then one of the guys in the band was like, "What's that guy looking at?" I was like, "Dude, keep your head down."
Yes.
Because we won't go back home.
They're looking at us.
They're looking at us.
Yeah. So the dude, same friend of mine, man, he had a girlfriend. I'm not gonna mention no names, but her family was from Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
And he swears, and I believe him on this stuff. He said like they lived in this little like this shack looking house, but then when you went in, like dirt floors, no flooring or anything, but big screen TVs, leather couches and stuff. But like every so often they would move all that stuff out into the woods and move all the old stuff in because the welfare people would come and check it out.
Okay.
And then when the welfare people left and they got, they still looked like they're in poverty or whatever, they move all their stuff back in, man. It was like, wow, dude.
Wow.
People been cheating the system forever, but
Yeah.
he said they were crazy. Eastern Kentucky, I'm talking about like I could think like Hazard and that area. You know what I mean?
One of our favorite YouTubers are from Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, Ryan Hall.
Ryan Hall, y'all.
That's right.
Oh,
right.
is Ryan Hall
Yeah.
from Eastern? He's from like Hazard or whatever.
I don't know exactly the town, but he still lives there. I mean,
Beaver,
that's where.
Beaver Dam's not Eastern Kentucky, is it? No, that's only a little bit away.
That's on. Yeah.
Okay.
That's working your way.
It's getting there. It's headed that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's headed that direction. Because for some reason, I was thinking that I heard Ryan Hall one time when I was watching some weather. And I thought I'd heard him one time say, just down the road at Beaver Dam. I thought I heard him say something like that.
Well, I guess relatively it is down the road.
Yeah.
And
We can traverse it pretty fast.
Yeah.
You got to go past Fort Knox and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Past, a little on into Lexington. And
I don't know.
then you start getting into hills. Once you get past Lexington, then you start hitting the hollers.
Then you start seeing the hills have eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm telling you, that's what it is. Like if you get in and if you start looking up at like the Appalachian stories, like they're scary because they're apparent. I mean, these are humans, but they have no human contact or whatever, and they're like forest people, man, and they like come running out of the woods and like kill you and like eat you or whatever. I don't know what they do to you.
Eat you?
I don't know, man. What else do they do?
Yeah.
They say people will go there and disappear, man.
Yeah.
There's all these if you look up, if you get on YouTube and just start typing Appalachian, tons of stuff will come up. These stories of Appalachian nightmares. And that one that I seen that one time, I'm telling you, man, it was like a forest ranger. He got called and he had to go out and check something, and he was literally like, "Man, I don't want to go out here. I don't want to go out here." And who's to say it was one setup? It might have been.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, but it didn't look like it. He like went out there and he started hearing stuff and seeing stuff, and he was like, "Man, I got to get back to the truck, dude." He was running to the truck. He finally got out, and dude, he hightailed out of there. He was like, he's like, y'all can't be sending me up here, not by myself,
Yeah.
Have you gotten into Just Fight anymore, or did you quit?
Man, I paused. I haven't watched it much. I haven't watched it since I think the last time we talked about it.
Because they end up going up in the hills, and like the people that are in the hollers, like they have to have special people. Like only certain people can go up further into
really.
the holler.
I need to get back into it.
They bury their people in coal mine shafts. And
Yeah.
that's where. So speaking of like Japan said, they scared to come over here because everybody's got a gun, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't even know about the hill people.
I know.
Right.
Let's talk about us normal folks with guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait till you come across the Appalachian.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Goodness. We don't consider him much, but I don't know. Well, this went off the rails.
From giants to the holler.
Oh, I love it.
That's
man.
right.
Well, one more time, don't forget to like the video, comment on the video. Please listen. If you got something to say, you think we're goofy, comment on the video. We love the interaction. We'll call back. We'll shout you out. We'll do all that stuff, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. It'll just take you a second, and it means a great deal to us. So comment, like, subscribe. Make sure the notifications are on. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we love you and we appreciate you so much. And I'm going to kick it over to my bestest good buddy, Jimmy, to send us out.
Well, bye. That was a lot of topics.
Dude.
From giants to the holler.
A lot of ground covered.
That was. There was a lot of ground.
It was just the tip of the mountain.